Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel if you would, please. And if you want to support the show, a couple of ways you can do that. You can become a member, and all you have to do is hit the join button. And there are three levels of membership you can explore and choose which one. It starts at $2.99 a month. Okay. The second way is we have super chats, and you can come on and support the show by making a contribution to make sure that your comments get heard. A couple of things I want to start out with tonight. The NFAC and Grandmaster Jay were part of a 5-minute CNN interview, and you can find that here online. I found it interesting in that basically what was supposedly reported as new is the same things I've been saying for the past months. And what that basically tells us is that corporate media, mainstream media, is incredibly out of touch because they were, oh my gosh, and absolutely nothing that we hadn't been talking about on this show for months. And another thing, they had the professor guy as an expert, and just as most experts, it seems like it was downplaying the size, the weaponry, basically the significance of Black militias and the dominance of white militias. And at least as far as turnouts, I don't see it that way. And I think people, as I've said before, I think if anything ever were to happen, that people would be surprised, because a lot of folks just aren't aware of things going on. Let's just put it that way. Second thing I wanted to talk about was General Delta Django. The general has been underground for last several days working on things, and he's going to be coming on and joining the program tomorrow night. One thing he has done is he's met with the Angry Viking. He met with the Angry Viking Saturday, met with some 3%ers Saturday. So we're going to talk to him about that tomorrow night, and he might have some guests with him. We're not just sure just yet. So I wanted to also talk a couple of things about my day today. And I finally went and voted today, and stood in line for about an hour to vote early. And I'm not going to tell you to vote for. I'm just going to say if you like the way things are, or don't want to see any kind of forward movement, then you know how to vote. And if you have any hope at all, at anyone listening to any options of change, you know how to vote. So if you are registered, please exercise your right to vote, and do so. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for future generations. While in line, first of all, let me give you a little background about the area I currently reside in. After the, and this is our, every 4 years we have what's called the presidential election, because the presidency's up, and also most of the major seats are up during this election cycle. So this is a major election cycle. And after the choice of the presidency, the choice of the governor, the choice of a congressperson, the choice of attorney general, and the choice of one state senator. After that, none of the races were contested. There were no choices. There were no options here. It was strictly Republicans, everything the rest of the way down. And that gives you an idea of the area I live in. And there's not much of a opposition, if you will, to the Republican Party, which is dangerous in my opinion. It's dangerous for the democracy. It's dangerous for areas that are like this, and there are many like this. And so a little background of the area, and I still went and voted because the vote counts. Every vote counts for every office, and it also makes a statement when you don't, when you mark certain offices and you leave other offices blank, and it shows up that there's a lot less support at the bottom than there is at the top, and might help to hold people accountable, but not if nobody ever challenges them. But anyway, while in line, I was in line for about an hour, and it doesn't take long to vote here because in most of the offices on the ballot, you don't have a choice. But I heard a lot of pro Trump discussions, a lot of how the only hope for America was Trump, and I personally don't agree with that, but nonetheless, I didn't engage them until the point where one of the election officials came to me and said, "Would you please pass it back down the line to have your picture ID out and ready, and that you need to fill in the circles on the ballot and not put a check mark or an X." So I passed that along to the people, each standing 6 feet in 6 feet increments. We kind of passed it back through the line, and I struck up a brief conversation with the man and the woman that were behind me. And I simply asked, actually what started it was when I told them about the ballots, and they passed it back, and then she turned back to me and said something about in Pennsylvania, you don't have to have a legitimate signature, or your signature doesn't have, she wasn't exactly sure, but there was going to be some skullduggery in Pennsylvania, and she was pretty certain that they were trying to rig the election in several states. And I mentioned, I said, do you think the tensions are high on all sides? Do you think there'll be some kind of conflict? And especially if as you're, I remember what it was now. What she said was, in Pennsylvania, you don't have to mail your ballot in until the 6th instead of the 3rd, and that ballots wouldn't be counted until like halfway through the month of November. And I said, that will, I said, there's tension on both sides. That's just going to increase the tension. And he said, yes. He said, there's going to be conflict no matter who wins. And she said, I hope they get what is coming to them. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, we have to end this like the Watts riots. We have to just start shooting them. And I said, that's, you can't really mean that. And she said, oh, absolutely. And it was nauseating to hear, but at the same time, it's something that I knew immediately I had to share, because that is the attitude of too many Caucasian Americans, and it's an attitude of ignorance and an attitude of fear, and it's an attitude that needs to be marginalized, and it needs to be expunged, if possible, just by, again, making human decency a priority, and not a political party as your source of worship. The second thing I wanted to talk about in my day after I finished voting, I went to Kroger. Kroger is a grocery store in the area. It's the only grocery store we have here in the area. There's a Walmart that has food, but I don't do that. And I went into the Kroger just to get some chocolate milk and some Mountain Dew. And I had my gaiter up. I'd forgotten I had it on until I just looked in the picture. And I had my gaiter up. So I was walking through Kroger like this. And all I was doing, I was just going to go get two things and leave. And I was standing at the Kroger. The fruit and vegetable section is the produce section is like right as soon as you come in, and then the soft drink section is just an aisle off of that. So I was standing back while somebody else was at the section of the soft drink aisle where I was going to be, and I was kind of not close. I wasn't blocking or anything, and but I was near the produce section, and this lady had gotten whatever produce she had gotten, and she came up and she pushed her cart right up beside mine, and just out of the blue she said, "Old men like you shouldn't have long hair. It looks horrible." And I had my gaiter up, so she couldn't see my jaw drop. The first thing that I didn't say a word. I just said okay, just nodded and said okay, and didn't even look at her. And the first thing that went through my head was, this person must think their life is so perfect that they can just walk up to a stranger in a supermarket and give their opinion like that. Like there's the term white privilege, and I think that pretty much exemplifies it. That, you know, you think your opinion is so highly sought that you have to give it regardless of who it affects. And that's one of the big problems with the country, in my opinion. Just something to think about. Again, going to try to put a viewer panel together. Those of you that are regular viewers of the show, if you'd be interested in being on the panel this coming Friday, again, I'm looking for like 5 to 7, and just send an email to americandoofus@gmail.com, or go to the American Doofus Facebook page and leave me a message there if you're interested. And if you're really interested, then, you know, give me a little background, give me where you're coming from, so you can get full consideration. And I'm also still reaching out, trying to get a warrior summit together, potential combatants to talk to each other and maybe see the similarities and the unnecessity of non-necessity. I guess it would be non-necessity of violence. And if nothing else, just talking about it helps to circulate the concept that, you know, maybe before anybody decides that no matter what happens in the vote, that we're going to have conflicts. Maybe we talk about that a little bit amongst those that would be potential combatants. That's the idea behind it. Anyway, I will again, if things work out, General Delta Django, the leader of the NFAR, the not fucking around regime, and possibly a couple of guests will be on tomorrow night. So I hope you'll be with us. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. And again, the email is americandoofus@gmail.com. You can reach me on Facebook at the American Doofus page. Just leave me a message there. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And of course, hope you'll like and share the program and join us again tomorrow night. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And it's a dark world. Keep trying to be a light. Try to find somebody to love and stay alive. But most of all, don't be a doofus. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching.